Happy, it feels like a Monday, but it's Tuesday, September 28th. What is up, people of YouTube, man? I hope you guys are crushing the week so far. I hope you guys had a really good weekend. Haven't seen you guys on this channel live since Friday, right? Yeah, Friday. Put up some VOD stuff, but not a live stream. So hopefully we get some of the OGs and the homies dropping by chat to enjoy one of our last baseball slates of the year. We got 6 or 7 of these bad boys left of the regular season. It's about to get weird, mama. There's a couple meaningful games, but then there's a lot of meaningless games. A lot of teams just playing some baseball till they head off into the winter. And you'll see a lot of weird stuff, a lot of pitchers that you don't usually see. Some September call-ups that, finally get a chance to taste the big league, stuff like that. Guys, we won't have a lot of data and sample size on. And yeah, I got in this Tiger Woods drop, and it says I'm 1,615th in line, and I think there was 1,500 of them, so that kind of stings, because usually we get a ton of people in line, so I'm like right on the outside, but what can you do? Maybe I'll sneak in there, I don't know. What up, Tall? What up, Dang Lazy Mofo? What up, K Johnson? What up, ACP? How we doing? How are you guys doing, man? Life check. I am my brother's keeper via the streamer. This song remains a banger. Man, we are a couple of weeks away from NBA. I had some time last night, sit down, get that schedule carved out, and kind of get a grasp of what I need to be doing to keep pace on the content behind the scenes. And basically, I need to never sleep again for about 6 months. So I'll be looking forward to that. Daily live streams for basketball coming at you. We'll probably try and gravitate towards a rock steady time of 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. That's what we've been doing. For baseball, seems to do okay. It keeps us from overlapping with other DFS streams. And I don't know, we just kind of got our own little hole here, and then we gotta maybe explore having some VOD content waiting for you guys. Football killed me this weekend. We'll be back. I tell you what, this is probably my best football week of the year so far. I mean, not probably, it was. Coming into the weekend, I had a nice profitable showdown slate last Thursday. The slate where Christian McCaffrey got injured, yeah, that one. Actually binked a second half showdown tournament, and then the main slate I cashed 20 out of 20 lineups with Christian McCaffrey, having a bunch of Anthony Miller, and then last night Zach Ertz was my Anthony Miller again, but the rest of the game didn't quite go the way I panned out. It just was it wasn't when defenses are the nuts in a 51 total game. I'm just never gonna profit, apparently. What up, R Catalza? What up, R? How you doing, bro? I think I saw you as one of the recent followers, right? By the way, shout out to Kevin Preto. Appreciate that recent follow. Is that showing up on the screen? Some love for him. But R Catalza, I see that you followed 18 hours ago, man. I appreciate that. All the new subscribers that happen off air, maybe through the NFL videos, what have you, man. What up, DP? Hope you're doing all right. Shepard getting hurt. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Shepard was absolutely one of my highest home players. I actually ended up having some optimizer issues right before lock on Sunday for my Fanduel approach, and I just couldn't figure it out, man. And usually I don't go to bed Saturday night until I have all my lineups done. But that night I was just so exhausted. I had to get up extra early to do an Awesemo stream, and I had to get a lot of NFL work throughout the day. Had another Awesemo stream that evening, and I was just never able to feel like I got caught up. I even wanted to do an NFL stream on Saturday night, and I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. So what I what does that mean? Sorry, that was loud. So I I just got a Tiger Woods thing. So this is actually my first time getting an NFT on DraftKings. So bear with me just a moment while we get that. 1-3K on Super. Yo, Josh Gilham. Shout out to Josh. Josh has absolutely been crushing it the last couple of nights. Or the last couple weeks. Remember Josh was in here, was it a week ago? About ready to retire, bro. And I was like, nah, man, that's just that's just the nature of the beast. And Josh, I don't know, I guess we kept him playing. And what'd you say, Josh? You took second in the $18 for, what was it, man? Was it 20? Was it 20K? I remember you saying it in the Awesemo stream that you crushed it. What's up, Jamie Moore? What's up, Tone Loke? Sound like you just woke up? Yeah, I definitely did. I'm sorry, chat. I never get these NFTs, and I wasn't ready. So I actually have to quickly add a debit card. So I'm professional, but hopefully it doesn't take too long, and I get effed out of the NFT. Hopefully this doesn't get leaked on the stream, right? I literally never have gotten an NFT off of DK before, and I just got one of these Tiger Woods ones, which I'm told are pretty good profits on them. So go me. Oh, first name's invalid. But yeah, Josh, what was it? You said you finished second for like 20K or something like that. It's huge. Can I just do it on my phone? This is annoying. Watching live from the warehouse. What's up, McCreasy? Did I lose it? Wow. I don't know if I lost it. Oh no. 3 p.m. Maybe this is it right here. No, that's not it. Chad, I think I dropped the bag. I think I effed up. I lost the link to the thing when I went to shoot. But 20K second place on Friday, man. My man was about ready to quit. About ready to leave it all. We just focus on teams playing for something. Nah, it's not quite like NBA. I mean, it's not like a badge. I would focus on teams playing something for like pitching for sure. But you'll still get full like at bats from teams and stuff. Dude, I can't believe I just did that, man. I literally like. Is there? Did I really just like do that? Oh no. I had one. And I didn't. Oh no. The pain that I feel. The pain. Bro, I had one. I literally had one. It was like, buy it now. And I went to deposit to buy it, and then when I deposited, the link was gone. Oof. What's up, Jonathan Adams? You doing all right? Is there a trolley about to come out? Oh, did you hear a train? Trains happen so much. Sometimes they're subconscious now. Dang, chat. Oh, I dropped the bag. There's no link. I'm checking my emails. No link for it. That's tough. There's not like a time limit when I get my spot. Maybe I can check my history real quick. History. No tabs. Dang, bro. What can you do? 4-3. It's this one. No, that's the. It's sold out. Yeah, it's sold out, but I had one. Like it said all I had to do was like deposit, and I wasn't prepared. Oh well, chat. Woe was me. Hopefully one of you guys got that. Next time I'll be ready. I had already reserved on my contest for tonight, and what can you do? No, the notification sound for the drop sounded like Mr. Rogers' neighbor. Oh, okay. Well, stick around. You might hear a trolley. We get a train a couple times, usually during these streams, man. What up, Obi-Wan? Anybody that I missed? My bad, chat. That was kind of a stall. I should have been playing y'all some music. Looks like I got everybody. Yeah, you're saying it right. Hit you on Twitter yesterday. Okay, I remember you now, Catelza. All right, hey, let's open up the spreadsheet here. Let's get some research going. Tonight is a full slate. We've got a bunch of games with some meaning on it, and a bunch of games are just people playing baseball, maybe trying to get jobs for next year, and maybe teams trying to figure out what they're going to do with some people next year. To get a grasp of the league and where we're at right now, the Rays have clinched the AL East, so you might see teams that have already clinched their division be a little bit more trepidatious going down the stretch with their starting pitchers and even with their starters. You might see some rest, you might see some half game stuff like that. And the Rays, the White Sox, the Brewers, they are teams that would meet that category of potential rest, and then you have a very intense wild card race in the AL, and then you also have a crazy tight division race in the NL West. So in the AL, we have some pretty important baseball to be played. One tonight, the Boston Red Sox face the Baltimore Orioles, and the Red Sox are trying to hold off the Toronto Blue Jays. And the Blue Jays are one game back, and they play the New York Yankees. The Yankees and the Blue Jays begin a 3-game series. If the Yankees can win 2 of 3, they go a long way toward securing the home field advantage in the wild card game. And then the Seattle Mariners are 1.5 games back from that wild card spot as well. So if the Yankees can beat the Blue Jays significantly, the Mariners have a chance to go up. And I think I saw the Mariners are not mathematically out of their division either, which is kind of surprising in sentence. They're 4.5 games back from the Astros, so it's not really probable that the Mariners get there. No time limit on DK NFT drops. No, so is there a time limit on when you're dude, there's like a dog howling. Anybody hear that? If you get the drop, is there a time limit on buying it? I think there is, but the next one's in 15 minutes. Yeah, I don't want to like take away from the stream. That one just happened to drop the same time as the stream. But there is a dog howling out there. That's incredible. Anyway, Seattle could technically like have a shot at the division, but we don't expect the Astros to lose 7 of 9. Most teams have about 6 to 7 games left. Some teams are trying to catch up. I think the Mets have a doubleheader today. The Braves are very close to clinching their division, 2.5 games up on the Phillies. So that's another team that will be playing inspired tonight. You got to get these dubs when you can get these dubs. And then if we look at that wild card race in the National League, I believe it's the Cardinals. Yeah, the Cardinals went on this insane run, and now they sit 5.5 games above the Cincinnati Reds. And like I said, with 6-7 games left, they're only a win or two away from clinching that spot. And then it's just a matter of who takes the NL West, the Giants or the Dodgers. So it's going down for about 5-6 teams, and then the rest of the league are just kind of coasting, getting ready for the winter. And then on those teams, you might see some journeyman players trying to maybe secure the right eyes in the last week for their future, right? Getting contracts for next season, stuff like that. And then you'll probably see a conglomerate of AAA pitching with their season done, giving some young kids a taste of the majors. So it's going to be really weird, right? You guys know the last week of NBA, the last week of the NFL regular season can feel a little sloppy and preseason-y at times, and it's going to get worse once some of these battles get decided. But it is what it is, man. We got to deal with the same deck of cards that everyone else is playing with, and I think we'll be able to navigate here and hopefully come away with a decent run of a player pool, right? Braves, Phillies, huge series. Yeah, there's a lot of there's a couple big ones, and it's gonna feel like playoff baseball. What up, Jim? Hey, Gun, A stack for the hammer on the main slate. I can get down with that. Let's go game by game here. Let's get cranked up. And game number 1, we want to talk about the Red Sox and the Orioles. Red Sox did release their lineup. It is confirmed. Kike Hernandez, Hunter Renfroe, Rafael Devers, Xander Bogaerts, Shady Martinez, Kyle Schwarber, Bobby Dalbec, Jose, I can be your hero, baby, Iglesias. Did you know Jose Iglesias will not be eligible for the playoffs should the Red Sox make it? Pretty good defender. No confirmed Orioles lineup. We got Chris Sale throwing the baseball for the Red Sox here. Sale's coming in as the third highest priced pitcher at 9,400. Last couple of games for him, really a 3-game stretch of modest to lackluster results for what we know Chris Sale to be. His strikeouts came back in that Mets game. He did have a little bit of a stint on the COVID IL. Pitch count got up to 89. With this game meaning so much, the Red Sox coming off a 3-game skid at home, they cannot lose this game. The ranges of outcomes for this game are kind of wide, though, right? Even though the Red Sox are playing for their playoff lives, they actually are in a spot where there is an outcome that the Red Sox have a healthy lead halfway through, and maybe Alex Cora decides to play it a little bit safer with Chris Sale than usual. With that said, as we saw, the Red Sox bullpen not exactly super sharp in that Yankee series. They Cora was just going to whoever was ready to go in whatever matchup they saw fit. They don't have a designated closer right now, and it is a fluid situation. If Chris Sale is pitching a decent game, but the Red Sox have a 5-run lead, does Chris Sale go past the 5th, 6th inning? That remains to be seen. Chris Sale's last game against the Orioles actually did not go great. He had 1 strikeout in 5 innings. Wasn't giving up hits or anything like that. Just wasn't missing bats. So if you have a little bit of recency bias in the back of your mind, you might be living with that. I think what we can do is maybe look at Chris Sale's individual game logs there and see if we can't figure out if that was a product of bad luck or maybe he is regress in the swing and strike rate department. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up his Fangraphs card, go to plate discipline on the game log. I think it's Baltimore. He had a 5.1 swing and strike rate that's got to be borderline a career low for him. Every other game this season, sans a Rangers game, double digits, 12% plus. So I think we have to treat that more as an outlier. I don't think we need to exhaust too much time trying to create a reason why that happened. Could have been, the first start back from COVID, and he was trying to get deeper into the game. That's possible. But him bouncing back against the Mets is encouraging. The first pitch strike rate, ironically, against the Mets was his lowest on the season. But getting that swinging strike rate to one of his highest of the season was a nice little trade-off. So I think when it comes to some of the boxes to check here, Chris Sale has about as much as anybody on the slate in terms of what to pitch for. At 9,400, 20-plus DKP is probably the starting point of what we need to get. And this Orioles lineup, man, it's playing with fire, but I think we have to get Chris Sale in the mix, a motivated, inspired Chris Sale to pick his team up after that 3-game skid. I will have him in the pool. I would be probably loaded with some Orioles hedge stacks in the back of mass entry, just in case all heck broke loose, because the Orioles do have a couple of guys that can hit lefties for not only good average but decent power. Ryan Mountcastle, Austin Hayes, Trey Mancini in the mix, maybe even Anthony Santander, but strikeouts still are there as well. 25% strikeout rate against lefties since the beginning of last year for Mountcastle. Santander's at 28%, 27 on Vallejo, 29 on Kelvin Gutierrez. So I'm leaning way more towards the Chris Sale side, but I in mass center I'll have a little bit of Orioles hedge stacks, just because I assume Chris Sale does pick up a little bit of steam. As far as stacking the Red Sox, absolutely, right? Camden Yards plays as one of the more hitter-friendly parks in baseball, especially for the long ball. 1.116 on a linear scale is what I got right now. And they're kind of cheap, right? Only Xander Bogaerts at 5K right now. Everyone else 5K or under 5K. Bruce Zimmerman on the bump for the Orioles, a contact lefty, 18.9% carry rate to righties, 1.9 homer per 9 to righties, 280 average allowed, and a 4.7 plus xFIP. So plenty of reason to like the Red Sox here. Kiki Hernandez, Hunter Renfroe is a really fun 1-2 punch. And then I wouldn't leave off some of these lefties, but man, Bogaerts, JD Martinez, they make it really easy to get in there. And 4,100 on JD Martinez, that's just not something we're used to, right? This guy was a diamond hitter for the longest stretch here. And I don't even feel like he's having a bad season. I know maybe he's not having that huge just dong season that we're all used to, but 285 average, 27 home runs. I feel like 4,100 is borderline disrespectful. So Red Sox stack actually come in pretty valuable price-wise. So give me some Sal, give me some Red Sox stacks. I'd imagine the Red Sox in a 6-run total become one of the highest owned stacks on the slate, but it is what it is, right? Let's get caught up on chat too. Cathelza says, am I crazy to like the Reds over the Rockies today? No, I don't think that's a crazy. I mean, it's the Rockies, right? Rockies are not great. No, Braves, Phillies, future. Hey, Gun. What's up? What up, Julian? Hope you're doing all right. Devers is an absolute must. You think so? I don't mind Devers. I don't mind anyone on the Red Sox, right? I don't want to split hairs on who to play, who to fade on the Red Sox, because they're all very, very viable. Even if you land on some Schwarber. Remember, behind Bruce Zimmerman's the worst bullpen in baseball, right? So there's no statute of limitations on who to play for the Red Sox for the starting matchup. Because if we're stacking the Red Sox, we're probably thinking Zimmerman doesn't get too deep into this one. And then, like I said, with a week left, these teams don't care. Some of these pitchers go out there, wear it, and teams can evaluate their stuff from there. What are the odds Dalbec outscores CJ Cron on DraftKings tonight? Even in my dummy Boston stacks, it's stuffing in CJ Cron for obvious reasons. So Dalbec is batting 7th. I mean, I don't know. I feel like that's Dalbec probably gets an extra implied at bat because he's on the road. I don't know unless you got the Rockies losing this one. CJ Cron 3,600. What do I got? Cron batting. Cron's batting 5th, so it's about the same play. One might have a a less implied at bat, but the Rockies are currently the Rockies are favored against Corbin, so maybe one less implied at bat, but I don't really overrate that. Crone, especially at home, we'll isolate his splits when we get to that game. But he's a beast at home, and you can just see from the DK log, he's averaging 10 fantasy points a game at home, 5 on the road. So in a nutshell, that kind of explains his his home road splits, right? And we'll dig into average and power and stuff like that. But he's in a massive spot against Patrick Corbin. So in a 1v1, I might give the needle or give the seesaw towards the CJ Grone side. But if you're stacking the Red Sox, I definitely wouldn't leave out Dialback. Maybe Dialback ends up a little bit on the lower side when it comes to individual ownerships in the Red Sox stack. People just straight up go 1 through 4 or whatever, and Dialback being 7. Maybe he's a little extra lucrative just because of potential lack of ownership. Don't quote me on that one, but it seems like it's not one of those stacks. Kike Hernandez being 4.2K, it doesn't seem like one of those stacks where the top guy is 6K, like a Juan Soto or something like that, and you gotta pinch pennies to get to the next guy. Rockies will suck again. Okay, Sean. Okay, Sean. Sean V, ladies and gentlemen. Yankees at the Blue Jays. Next game on the docket. This game's up there in Rogers Center. The Yankees coming off a massive sweep in Fenway. We got Jameson Taillon taking on Hyun-Jin Ryu. Yankees have a 4.6 implied run total. They're actually road dogs here against Ryu. Ryu's coming off a stint on the IL, which, if you ask me, I don't know how true it was, but hey, sometimes pitchers need 10 days off. Last pitch on the 17th against the Minnesota Twins, and he went through a really rough stretch where his only good game, ironically, came against the New York Yankees, right? 7 earnings, 5 earnings, a bunch of bombs here. They wrote him off with a neck injury for 10 days, and coming back to him here, I would imagine he still gets a decent shot at 70, 80 pitches, and then they turn it over to the bullpen. 8K, in a fantasy perspective, you're probably looking for 18 DKP to make you live. Sure, if you got 16, maybe that works too. But 20 plus is generally my what my eyes look for from pitching, and maybe I'm gonna have a little of a biased tone over this, but I don't have much interest in Hyun-Jin Ryu. If we just look at the metrics, we likely see a very righty-heavy Yankees lineup. Might get the jumbo package with Luke Voigt in there as well, and Ryu just isolating his righty splits, a 4x flip to righties, a sub 20% K rate, and a 1.4 home run per 9. So I don't think I get to Ryu, not even if there's a fire. Jameson Taillon, probably the same song and dance. If we're being honest, Taillon has also had a little bit of a stretch where I think he just came off the IL. Yankees pitching, getting healthy at the right time, right? Taillon hasn't pitched since September 6th, right? So, I mean, I guess we could check to see if he had some rehab starts, but I wouldn't expect the world in terms of pitch count from either one of these starting pitchers, and I absolutely wouldn't be shocked if neither pitcher gets into the 6th inning, and that's not even, a worst-case scenario, a blow-up, or even the 5th inning. That's not even a blow-up situation. I just think these games are that important that these managers have to treat it like a playoff game. If Taillon's in a jam in the 4th inning, all right, well, let's go get the fireman, right? You might get Chad Green, you might get Luis Severino, guys like that. Taillon pitched on the 22nd in the minors, went 3 innings, gave up 2 earned runs and 2 strikeouts with a 3.08 average. So, yeah, I don't expect much from either starting pitcher here, so I probably don't get access to them in my lineups. I think both stacks are extremely viable. Blue Jays being the favorite here maybe makes them a little bit more owned, but I got to be honest, man, this Yankees team seems a little bit too cheap. And what does Giancarlo Stanton got to do to be 5K, man? This might be one of the most deadly hitters on the planet right now. Just 3,900 on Fanduel. I could fit him in there pretty easily. And on DraftKings, he's not even like in the top 10 priced hitters. So kind of like the Red Sox, if you like the Yankee stack, it's not really going to cost you. Judge the most at over 5K, but the rest of this lineup pretty affordable. And some of these guys you could probably write off somewhat easily, right? Like 4K for Gleyber Torres right now doesn't feel the best. So I'm in on the Yankees here. I don't usually like to reference BVP, but I'm a little bit curious to see if Giancarlo has something on Ryu. 3 bombs for Gary Sanchez against Ryu, batting 333. Voit has one, Judge has one. Voigt's batting 506 at bats, and Stanton does not have one yet. So just kind of keeping that in my mind. I almost never reference BVP, but I'm just curious from a fan perspective. But yeah, I don't expect much from either starting pitcher. One of the things I'm looking for in this series is to see where they use Domingo Germán. He just came back, and they need to get him kind of stretched out. If you guys remember him, and if they where they use Luis Severino. So I think Domingo Germán might be somebody that could piggyback logistically off of Taillon today. You might see Michael King piggyback off of Taillon today. And then Severino pitched on Saturday. I don't know if they're trying to get him to go every 5 days or if they think they can treat him like a bullpen piece 3 or 4 days. So there's definitely some guys to fill in the gaps here. And like I said, with Cole being is Cole tomorrow? With Cole being either tomorrow or the next day, they probably look at him as a long start. So definitely would not shock me if Aaron Boone has a 4 or 5 man bullpen appearance game, 6 man even, coming in at least one of these games. So same with the Blue Jays. Let's get caught up on chat. Stanton, dog, I'm with it. Sean says, I faded all chalk donkey Rockies last night on a 2-gamer. It worked out great. They're cold. Maybe. I didn't watch a lick of last night's baseball slate. Paid more attention to football. WS stack with Abreu. White Sox stack with Abreu or Crone tonight. I mean, if you're stacking a team, don't leave out one of the team's linchpin hitters. Obviously, CJ Crone individually is a good play. But if your lineup has a purpose, I want this to be a team stack of this team or whatever. Like, I wouldn't write off. It's okay. Like, if Abreu comes in as, like, the highest owned player on that stack, and that's how you want to differentiate that stack specifically by getting to a CJ Cron or something like that. But I wouldn't necessarily, like, I don't know. Like, so my boy, I don't know if he's in chat. Where's my boy Mouse? I was streaming on Twitch last night. Mouse told me he stacked the Mariners but faded Mitch Haniger. Well, that was not the move, because he was, as Jeff Passan said, 100% that Mitch. Had a double dong day. He was the core of that stack. So if you're gonna stack a team, you don't look for reasons to fade one of their better hitters. But if it is like an ownership pivot decision, go for it. But yeah, I do think CJ Crone's a good play. But if I'm stacking the White Sox, I think Abreu is a good play. Kate John says, I got a 3-man Boston stack right now. Makes great sense. High run total. Josh says, I'm driving through Atlanta. Can't chat much. Need the GPS open. If I miss one exit, I'll be in South Carolina. No. Don't get lost, man. Don't get lost. You get lost in the wrong area of Atlanta, man, you might never get found. Let's move on to the next game. Phillies at the Braves. Here we go. A little playoff atmosphere if you're nasty. Braves looking to tie up this division. Just get it over with. And the Phillies, they're not going to go down without a fight. Mentioned it a minute ago. That NL East. Braves have a shot to shut it down in a season that probably should have been a lost season with no Acuna, right? Here they are, 2.5 games up on the Philadelphia Phillies. Phillies can make it a run here, right? If Phillies sweep this series, there they are at the top. So every player in this game will be walking onto the field like it's a playoff game. It's going to feel that electric. So I'm looking forward to watching highlights from this one. I'll be watching the Yankee game when this goes down, but it's one of those games that matter. Phillies lineup did come out. Odubel Herrera, Gene Segura, Bryce Harper, JT Realmuto, Brad Miller, Andrew McCutchen, Didi Gregorius, Freddie Galvis, and Zach Wheeler on the bump. And the Braves lineup was already confirmed. They got Charlie Morton going. So here's a tough spot, right? We get two pitchers with deep pitch counts, pitching probably their most important game of the season, and then we got two high octane inspired offenses. If you let Vegas set the tone here, both teams have a sub 4 implied run total, so we may not expect many runs to be had here. But I like playing the ranges of outcomes here. I think the Phillies offense and I think the Braves offense both have enough spunk to play this game aggressively, right? Steal bags, hit bombs, and then just choke up on the bat and do your thing. Zach Wheeler has 4 starts against the Braves this season. He's averaging 28 DKP in those 4 starts. His last start came not recently, so let's open up StatMuse, I guess. Zach Wheeler, DKP by game log versus Braves last 10 games. Guys, I'm still a little bit salty about that Tiger Woods drop. That was tough. So it was July 23rd. He went 7 innings strong with 8 strikeouts. 8 innings on June 10th, and everything else was in the cold temperature months of April. So, maybe a season of fatigue, and the other almost a different team basically. Jorge Soler, Adam Duvall, guys like that. I think Wheeler makes the player pool for me for sure, with a near 30% K rate to both sides of the plate. On the road, that K rate overall has hit about 26%. He's keeping the ball on the ground at a great clip and keeping the hard contact extremely low. The Braves, even as talented of an offense as I think they are, they still come with strikeouts, and I think a lot of people sleep on that. Jorge Soler, 26% carry since the beginning of last year to righties. Austin Riley, 26%. Adam Duvall, 30%. Travis d'Arnaud, Dansby Swanson, and the pitcher spot. So plenty of implied strikeouts here for a talented pitcher like Zach Wheeler. So Wheeler will be in the mix for me. And then Charlie Morton, his K rate to lefties is something I want to isolate here, because I think the Phillies' most dangerous bats are their left-handed hitters, the Bryce Harpers, the Brad Millers, and Didi Gregorius. Obviously, Realmuto and McCutcheon deserve some respect here, but Bryce Harper is the big one, right? Potential MVP, with Morton having a 31% K rate, 45% ground ball rate, and a pretty well below league average hard contact rate that gives him a puncher's chance. Again, not a BVP guy, but I'm just kind of curious to see if he's found success against Bryce Harper. And it looks like he's not. 412 average by Harper in 17 at-bats with just 1 extra base, or 2 extra base hits, a triple and a bomb, 5 walks, 5 strikeouts. So something to watch there. Morton's home run per 9 to lefties has definitely been one of his best this season than it has been in a while. So, maybe he's like fine wine, got a little bit better. I'm more inclined to play Wheeler than Charlie Morton, but I think both pitchers are fine. I think this is the 2 options that they would like to go the deepest in this series when it comes to mapping out the pitcher versus pitcher plan. So I'm fine with playing every bit of this one. Give me Wheeler, give me Morton, give me the offenses, and I'll put them in the back of my MME, and then I'll keep my ear on the ground to ownership. There's not really a hitter on either side that I say, okay, this guy is the problem. Both pitchers keep the ball on the ground and in the park, so we just kind of be targeting for that, big hit because it's a big moment. Bryce Harper's 6K. If you want to get there, get there. He's one of the most expensive players on this entire slate. Comes in as the 4th highest priced guy behind Altuve, Ohtani, and Vladdy. In context, he's got a large responsibility at that price point on this slate. Likely has to be a top scoring player to be relevant at the end of the day. But in big moments, he tends to come through. So I'm in on every range of outcome for this one, and that's kind of the lazy way to approach it. I'll say this: in 20 or less lineups, I don't stack the offenses, and I would get to Zach Wheeler. I don't know if I get to Morton in 20 or less, but I definitely would get to some Zach Wheeler. Let's get caught up on chat here. ABG When you see a core stack with decent results and a good sample size, Phil's against Morton, your inclination is to fade the bats and bank on regression, or stack the bats with potential or low ownership. So my instinct really is to not overreact to sample size, or not sample size, excuse me, to BVP, unless it, not even unless, but if it has some sample size to it, sure. But BVP tends to remove all context of anything. Like, you don't know if there was runners on, was the pitcher in and out of the stretch, where was it, what stadium was it, when was it, right? Pitchers change year to year, so do hitters. So I would more so focus on the metrics that we have with sample size, right? The hard contact, the ground ball rates, the K percentage, the xFIP, stuff like that, because BVP can be very, very misleading and no context, and anything of like, less than 50 at-bats is just really, really fluky. So I do apologize that I'm referencing BVP. It's just more so out of a fan perspective and curiosity because of these games meaning what they mean. But from a process standpoint, I wouldn't let it hinder my numbers. I'm not saying that's the right or wrong way, but for me personally, I think mathematically that's not something that I can answer with a data analytical support system. It's just, this is what has happened. Obviously, there's outliers to almost everything that involves analytics, and there are guys that just own certain pitchers. But I don't know that we have enough sample size on this situation just to kind of see what you're talking about. We got a bunch of 20 or less at bats. Gene Segura, Didi Gregorius are the two guys with 30 plus at bats here, and they have mediocre results. So not enough for me to go crazy here for that one specifically, but not a bad idea if you do want to put a little bit more humanistic side to it, which I think there's a place for that. I think a lot of analysts will act elitist in that. I'm not one of them. Hey, BVP's your thing, go for it. I've seen it work. Not work, but I've seen some BVP plays hit in the last couple weeks. Guys that have had 4 or 5 bombs off the pitcher get another one. I think Eugenio Suarez was one of them if I'm not mistaken. Project Mayhem, McCutchen, put some respect in my name. McCutchen's always really, really high in the bomb detector. Not today, though. Nobody in this game has a 4+ rating. McCutchen does have the highest at 3.9, though. What up, Mouse? Do I miss our favorite pitchers yet? No. I don't hate some Zach Wheeler, though. Tigers at the Twins. We got Tyler Alexander taking on. I pulled away with Charlie Barnes, and I don't have a whole bunch of information on him. About 31 innings of sample size. So if I can confirm that, we'll work on what we got. Tigers lineup is going to be Akil Baddoo, Jonathan Scope, Robbie Grossman, Miguel Cabrera, Jamer Candelario, Isaac Paredes. Here's a name. Dustin Garneau in the lineup. Isaac Paredes. Who was the Paredes on? Was it the Phillies here? Was that Jimmy Paredes? I wonder if there's any relation there. Well, that's your confirmed Tigers lineup. This lineup does not look really, really good, but Charlie Barnes does not look really, really good either. Tigers have just a 4 implied run total. Twins sitting at 5.2. I went to DraftKings. I didn't see Labs post a picture. DraftKings had Charlie Barnes listed as the pitcher here. It's 5,100. If this is the case, he does not project very well at all. I'll give you the quick scoop on him, but kind of keep an eye out because I don't know for sure. Maybe one of you guys can corroborate this. But he has a 10% K rate to righties, 12% to lefties, and so far against righties, he's allowed a lot. 302 average and 152 home run per 9, nearly a 44% hard contact rate, 40% fly ball rate. So he's allowing a lot of power, not missing bats. Barrel rate's at 7%. He's throwing strikes. And at this point, guys like this throw strikes, eat some innings, if he lets some homers up, so be it. Bomb detector wise, Eric Haas is the guy that sticks out here. He's 4,500 on DraftKings, 2,600 on Fanduel. He's one of those atypical big power guys with big strikeout numbers, 31.5% K rate. Can be heavily neutralized versus a guy with a 10% K rate. So we offset that here. I like Haas's chances of sending one over the wall at Target Field. Past that, we do have a couple of other guys with 4+ ratings in the bomb detector. Jonathan Scope is one of them as well. On the Twins side, they'll be seeing Tyler Alexander, a lefty with some power problems, specifically to righties. 1.7 home run per 9, 274 average allowed. Heck, the other day I was not suckered in, but I was privy to a twin stack against Robbie Ray. There's a lot of hard hit outs. I'll be there on a twin stack against this kid. A lot of big power numbers in my home run model here. Buxton, Jorge Polanco, Josh Donaldson, and Mitch Garver all have 4+ ratings in the bomb detector. Should they make the lineup, it should have looked like this. Definitely, I'm in on that. And Mitch Garver feels a little bit too light, 2,600 on FanDuel. He's just been a really solid hitter against both sides of the plate, and I mean that in terms of a batted ball data sample. And so I don't know, maybe since he's come back from the IL, maybe it hasn't been that case, but I'll show you what I mean. And if you guys ever want to like do this for any hitter, not just Mitch Garver, maybe this is a good step-by-step process. So what I would do is I pull up the hitter card on Fangraphs. I go to splits, and I go look at batted ball data, and some of the stuff that I use to develop the algorithm for the bomb detector are fly ball rates, hard hit rates, and line drive rates. And if we look at those metrics specifically for Mitch Garver, line drive rate versus both lefties and righties, we got 16% against lefties, 28% versus righties, 51% fly ball rate to lefties. We take out 10% of the infield fly, so 40% fly ball rate, still pretty good, and about 30% fly ball rate to righties. I'll call that true fly ball rate if we take out the infield fly ball rate. The pull rate, this is how you really project power for my home run model, is are you pulling the ball, meaning you getting the most of your swing from a power wise. He's at 47% against lefties, 60% against righties, and then the hard hit rate over 40% to both sides of the plate. So he's actually one of my favorite hitters to set a standard in terms of what makes a guy click in the bomb detector. And against lefties, he's checking all the boxes. He's also really good against righties, and he doesn't get the love he deserves in that department either. Really cheap on FanDuel, 2,600. So I'll be looking at Mitch Garver. Should he make that lineup, especially in a top 4 capacity. Alexander has been serving him up, and on the road this season he has a 182 home run per 9. We've seen upside out of Buxton lately. Polanco's been so good for them, Donaldson, Garver. So I'm there on the twin stack. 5.2 is their implied run total. I also don't hate a stab at the Tigers over. I don't want to, but I think the pitching that the Twins could throw out, if it is Charlie Barnes backed by their bullpen, there's a world where these Tigers get, this game turns into an ugly shootout. So I'm definitely on the Twins here. I'd be cherry picking the Tigers as of now. But if I wanted to get a little bit different later on, I could see a spot where bad hitting ends up beating a bunch of bad pitching. Let's get caught up. Twins look solid here. Only player picking up a ton of ownership is Buxton. Yeah, Buxton under 5K on DraftKings. Multifaceted, dangerous kind of guy, huh? Sale, Woodruff, or Wheeler. What's up, Thugga? So I would say, I want to say Wheeler in that one. Chris Sale's fine too. It's probably a coin flip between Sale or Wheeler. Woodruff feels like he would be my odd man out because the Brewers have nothing to play for, and if I'm skipping the Brewers, I probably wouldn't make Woodruff pitch more than 5 innings, but that's just speculating from a baseball standpoint. Like, they locked up that division, they don't have any incentive really to win out or anything like that, right? They're just coasting. So let's talk about that game. Brewers at the Cardinals, Busch Stadium, and the Cardinals, for whatever reason, seem to have Brewer pitchers' numbers. Woodruff is on the bump for the Brewers, and for the Cardinals, we've got Adam Wainwright who last pitch against, I think it was the Brewers, where he walked the bases loaded, gave up a grand slam, and somehow the Cardinals overcame that to win that game. Cardinals lineup is out, and it is confirmed. We got Tommy Edman, Paul Goldschmidt, Tyler O'Neill, Nolan Arenado, Dylan Carlson, Yadi Molina, Harrison Bader, Paul DeYoung, and Adam Wainwright. Cardinals with a little bit more to play for than the Brewers here, and I mean that from just a mathematical standpoint. They're basically locked into that second wild card spot. But I guess mathematically, if they lost out and who is it? The Reds won out. I guess mathematically right now, like there's a chance, but they have a lot more to play for than the Brewers. Is what I'm getting at. So if the Cardinals win another game or two, they'll lock up that second wild card spot. They are at home. Brewers have an implied run total of 3.6, slight favorite against the Cardinals, who have an implied run total of 3.5. They haven't lost since the Obama administration, so look out for the streak narrative for the crowd here. But obviously, the win in a single game situation is a little bit more important than the streak. Brandon Woodruff's 10.3K. If you just want to go off the numbers, right? Brandon Woodruff, 30% K rate to both sides of the plate. It's going against a pretty righty-heavy Cardinals lineup in a pitcher-friendly park, and you want some Woodruff, like, go for it. I definitely think I still get to some Woodruff from my player pool. He's given us 6 innings, as far as the eye can see. At least 6 games. You scroll down immediately, you see less than 6 games. But he's given us 6 innings, 90 to 100 pitches. They probably, 6 innings probably the goal. I don't see them allowing him go longer than 6 innings unless he's pitching a no-hitter or something like that. 6 innings is probably the cap. Because pitchers don't hate too much rest or don't like too much rest between starts, especially going into the playoffs. And if the Brewers are going to be waiting for the wild cards to wrap up here, you probably want Woodruff to feel like he's in his motion here. So look for 6 innings for Woodruff. Now, 6 innings of Woodruff against a righty-heavy Cardinals lineup. Could you get value? Yeah, he did in his literal last start. 10 strikeouts, just 1 earney. He's fine. 20-plus DKP. 2 games prior to that, Detroit and Philly, sub-20 DKP, so you wouldn't want that. And they would also say, they probably don't strand him out there in a high leverage situation if it looks like he's throwing some stressful innings. So I'm in on Woodruff, but if I had to specifically pick out a guy to target for a single entry or short entry where I couldn't really justify getting to all these different guys, I'd probably be leaning towards a pitcher with a little bit more narrative behind him, and maybe that's the wrong process, but there's more reason to trust Wheeler in the jam or Chris Sale in the jam than there is Woodruff, right? So I'm in on Woodruff in the spot math, just matchup wise, but in the short field of those three, I probably lean towards the others, just to be, I don't know, narrative driven. Maybe that's the wrong way. Adam Wainwright on the bump for the Cardinals. He's 9K. Tough start out of him in his last outing. He's definitely had a season that seems a little bit of anomalic, outlier-ish, where his results are better than the metrics. 16 wins on the season with a 104 whip. Been a contact guy for the most part. Just a 22% K rate to righties, 20% to lefties, 8% swing and strike rate. So he's just out there throwing strikes, and he's getting good results, right? He's not allowing a ton of hard contact. 32% to lefties, 29% to righties. Maybe the park helps him out to an extent, but even the xFIPs don't necessarily disagree with him being an above-average pitcher here. So kudos to him finding ways to get it done at 9K. That last start, a little bit of an outlier where he had 2 walks, gave up 5 earnings, gave up 2 bombs. You don't usually see that out of him, so maybe he rights the ship here. I don't have a ton of interest in jamming him in at 9K. It's kind of an awkward price point, but he'll be in the pool. He'll probably be like a tier 3 guy for me just because of the park, because they do have an incentive to win. And yeah, at 9K, if you get me 20 plus, that dog probably hunts. So give me a little bit of Wainwright, but not much. If I want to pick on Wainwright, there's really not one specific hole in his game, and because of his ground ball rate being so high and his hard contact rate being so low, no one's going to project extremely well for power. Same with Woodruff here. So I'm not really on this game offensively, and I'll probably have a little bit of both pitchers. And that's all I got to say about that. First time in the stream. Do you like Springer and Votto under 1.5 hits? Ooh, no, probably not. 1.5 hits. Probably not Springer. That's a dangerous guy. What's the Reds dealing with? Reynaldo Lopez and the bullpen. Like, I'd be more inclined to look at Votto for that prop. Reynaldo Lopez, just an 8% walk rate to share the lefties. I don't know. Those are two really good hitters to be betting unders on hit wise. I don't really bet like hits and hits plus walk stuff like that. If you're on PrizePicks, I'd be looking at the fantasy points, and usually I'm an over type of guy. But yeah, there's an edge in betting unders. But those two are really really good at what they do. So I probably wouldn't tempt them. Appreciate you stopping by though, Zach. You think Sale gets a longer leash with Boston needing to win? I think yes, but I also think there's the Red Sox have a 6+ implied run total, where the Orioles have 3. So if the Red Sox are up by 5 in the 5th inning, how much of a leash do you need to hold that lead? You know what I'm saying? So if the game's tight, yeah, I would expect Zach Wheeler to have the longest leash, because I expect that game to stay close. There's a world where the Red Sox drop a touchdown on the Orioles early, and you don't need Sale to go that deep, and you're just kind of bubble wrapping him, hopefully for the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So conceptually, yes, they should ask for a lot from him to set him straight after that disappointing series against the Yankees. But if you think the Red Sox put up a bunch of runs, probably not. As long of a leash as we would want, you know. Let's move on to the next game here. Angels and the Rangers. We've got Packy Naughton taking on AJ Alexy. Hopefully I don't trigger your guys' Alexas. Alexa, play Despacito. If I did, I don't know. Isaiah Kiner for Leffert leading off for the Rangers. We got Andy, I took a pill, and Ibanez, Adolis Garcia, Nate Lowe, Nick Solak, Charlie Culberson, DJ Peters, Jonah Heim, and Leody Taveras. So this is a prime example of two teams playing meaningless baseball. And it's a bunch of who's that. So Packy Naughton, we've seen a couple games out of him. He has not been extremely great, has allowed a high line drive rate, and has walked a lot of righties. K percentage under 18% to both sides of the plate, 13% to righties. So you might look at some of these Rangers righties to steal some power numbers here. He hasn't really given up a ton of homers left yet, but also don't know that we have enough sample size to trust that to sustain high line drive rate, a decent hard contact rate, not still below league average, but if you wanted to cherry pick Adolis Garcia, Ibanez, Charlie Culberson has been one of the best lefty hitters in baseball for the last 2 years. He's pretty cheap on both sides, 2,100 on FanDuel. Perhaps he is the bridge between an ace, a decent stack, and getting that punt guy in the middle. I don't mind looking his way. But this is just kind of an ugly game, right? Hopefully it's the most mediocre game that ever did play, and we don't have to have it because one of the teams dropped 30 on the other one. Alexy for the Rangers, he has a 9.6% swinging strike rate in the big league so far. If I remember correctly, I feel like his minor league profile projected him to be more of a strikeout guy. So maybe against the Angels lineup, we could start seeing some more progression towards those numbers. He had 65 innings pitched in the minors with 76 strikeouts and a 102 whip. So if he can get closer to that, You know, he's been called up to the majors, and he's really had some tough starts. Actually, if I can, I think he said the Yankees. I want to say the Astros. Maybe that's Packy Naughton. I know when Jose Siri homered off of Alexi, the world broke free, right? So yeah, last 2 starts, Yankees and the Astros, but he did pitch against his Angels team, 6 innings, 7 strikeouts, dropped 29. So 6,300 here today. We saw him, host Colorado as well. So I think if you put a little context to strength of schedule and understand that it's only been 4 starts and understand that his minor league numbers kind of trend in a positive direction for him to be a strikeout guy in kind of a pressure-free game where you're just out there playing baseball, I think Alexi makes my player pool. I think the big league numbers could be a little bit misleading if we let the xFIP tell the story. So Alexi will be in my player pool against this Angels lineup that has just incredible strikeout potential. Just David Fletcher has a sub 22% carry to righties since the beginning of last season in this projected lineup. So give me some Alexi for sure. I'm not really in on Naughton. I'm not running to stack Rangers, but if I had a couple of these value cherry picks, Nate Lowe, Adolis Garcia, Banyas, Culberson, I don't want to get overexposed to Rangers, but I'm fine with them being in the pool to make stuff work. But I'm in on Alexi. I think I'll be a little bold in that approach, and kind of expect progression. Gun's always setting off my devices. My bad. Zach says I got Kiki and Devers over 1.5 hits along with Altuve. Yeah, I like that. Kiki for sure. I like that. Altuve's fine. Those are all pro hitters. What the hits, man? The 1.5 hit prop is so annoying because the double zeros, right? The roulette wheel zeros, double zeros, they're baked in because you don't get credit on a walk or a hit by pitch or something like that. So I usually don't subject myself to that type of stress, and I'll use like PrizePicks, using code Kundecker when I do use PrizePicks, you know what I'm saying, to get access to a hitter's fantasy points. Because a lot of times, if you're going to bet 2 hits for a hitter, more likely they're going to exceed 6.5 to 7.5 fantasy points. So I'll just bet the fantasy points over on PrizePicks. Shout out to my love, Danny, in the chat. Everyone say hi to my love. Here, I'm doing okay. Okay, I'm reading conversation. Let's move on to the next game. Reds at the White Sox. We do not have confirmed lineups for either team here. Riley O'Brien taking on Reynaldo Lopez. Reds have a 3.9 implied run total, pretty low, all things considered. The White Sox a 5.2. White Sox are one of those teams that have nothing to play for. They're also one of those teams that I think are lucky, man. Potentially overrated. Check this out, guys. You want to know pain? Here's pain. White Sox have 89 wins in a division where they are the only team with a winning record, right? Everyone, the number 2 team's been no hit more than any team ever. They got the Tigers. They got a bunch of teams that might be 90 loss teams in other divisions, and they have clinched this division. Everyone's got this perception that the White Sox are powerhouses. White Sox are like 1-5 against the Yankees this season. At 89 wins, they'd be fighting for 3rd place in the AL East. And the AL East has only 1 team with a losing record. So I'm a little bit salty about that. Divisions are stupid. Get rid of divisions in every sport, basketball included. And let's just let the best teams make the playoffs, right? Anyway, enough of that. Reynaldo Lopez on the bump for the White Sox here. Is he stretched out? I feel like they've been using him in shorter stints than a full-on starter role this season. Yeah, 3, 4, 5, 4 innings pitched. So you might get 1 or 2 turns through the lineup, but again, they're coasting, just getting some BP as they get into the playoffs. Lopez is somebody who has allowed power to both sides of the plate in the past. Looks like out of the bullpen, those numbers are looking better. And I think that's to be expected. A lot of times out of the pen, you're brought in to see matchups that favor you, or you get to throw harder for shorter times. You know what I'm saying? So we might expect some spots of regression, but the White Sox bullpen overall projects pretty well. So I don't know. If you wanted to get to some Reds bats, go for it. But their run total being what it is, I probably wouldn't over prioritize anything here. Joey Votto, 5.4K. We mentioned some of the other stacks on the slate, the Red Sox, Yankees, where they don't have many 5K guys, so it's hard to love the Reds. And the Reds are a team I tend to gravitate towards a little bit more at home than on the road anyway. Just out of curiosity, is that statement blowing smoke or nah? The Reds still that dude on the road. Let's see, teams away. White Sox slander shall not be tolerated. Come on now. Brett Gardner slander shall not prosper. I don't hate, so like coming into the season, I thought the White Sox were a problem. Their only win against the Yankees came off that fluke Tim Anderson homer off of Zach Britton in that Field of Dreams game, right? Stanton should have won that for him. Anyway, looking out on the road here, Cincinnati has been bottom 10 in terms of weighted runs created plus. So, yeah, they're a team that projects better at home anyway. So I'm not running to get to the Reds in this spot. But, yeah, if you got to an India, Votto, Castellanos, so be it. On the White Sox side, we're dealing with Riley O'Brien. So we're going to do a little bit of research on Riley O'Brien. For those of you guys that are new to the stream, if you ever see somebody that's called up and you're like, don't know how to get information on them, and you don't want to just trust the run total, you can try Fangraphs, but you can also try MILB.com and pull up their minor league profile. So in the minors this season, Riley O'Brien, 112.2 innings in AAA Louisiana, has 121 strikeouts, so more than a strikeout per inning. A 1.31 whip, that's a little high. A 1.11 ground out to air out ratio. So he's been playing as a ground ball pitcher. Has 55 walks at 112 innings. That's probably a little higher than you would want it. And 16 homers. So the homers are about average in that regard. So looks like he's a guy with a walk problem and average home run tendencies. If we isolate that a little bit further against lefties, 45 innings, just 38 strikeouts, so less than a strikeout per. With 6 homers allowed in 45 innings, so that's a little bit above what you would want it. And then 66 innings, 10 homers, 83 strikeouts. So it looks like he strikes out righties better than lefties. He does have a high whip to both sides of the plate. It looks like that is the direct result of an elevated walk rate. So White Sox are a team that strike out quite a bit, but they'll also walk with the best of them. So I don't like Riley O'Brien's chances here. And then this Reds bullpen, it might be a quality 8 innings of at-bats for the White Sox here. So if you want to get some White Sox against an uncertain pitcher, I definitely wouldn't push back here. Abreu being 4,500. Somebody asked about the viability of CJ Cron over Abreu. It's definitely viable, but Abreu is kind of cheap. Yasmani Grandal. We don't have a confirmed lineup yet, so, asterisk here. You might see Luis Robert batting top 2, something like that. But, yeah, I wouldn't push back against the White Sox stack here against a young gun in his, I'm assuming, major league debut on the road, right? I can get a little bit wonky quick. So a little bit of power problems, a little bit of walk problems, but doesn't give up a ton of average. But if you have a walk problem coming into the majors, walking 1, walking 2 with a little bit of a home run problem could create a big inning, and then they probably yank you, right? Divisions are dumb. They are. How often are 100 win plus teams wild cards? Yeah, I mean, obviously biased Yankee fan stuff aside, the NL West is a great example of how the playoff format is a little bit outdated, right? I understand when this was created, back in my day, they had markets to satisfy and regions to satisfy. And yeah, I think baseball's still one of the more regional sports when it comes to television deals, stuff like that. And you want to give every region, some love for the playoffs, but from a competition standpoint, like I'd rather see the Dodgers or the Giants not get screwed out of just one bad game. Wild card is such a dangerous format for good teams, right? Because one bad game from somebody can mean the most, and when you get to 3 or 5 game series, that's when the talent usually wins more than the luck, right? So it sucks for them. Also sucks for whoever has to play one of those teams, because the Dodgers I don't think there's a team more equipped than the Dodgers to win one game, right? Unbelievable what they can do with that pitching staff. Fantasy Labs tweeted the White Sox lineup out. Did they? All right. So I should get the notification in just a second. Oh man, my boy got that Tiger Woods thing. Nice. Looking at the White Sox tweet. I didn't get the White Sox lineup yet. Oh yeah, I did. Tim Anderson, Luis Robert. All right, maybe I'll just refresh this page. Maybe it expired on me. So we'll get some of the confirmed lineups punched in there. We got a couple lineups out there. Yeah, White Sox. Actually, we got both lineups, so we can get that confirmed here. Reds lineup is Jonathan India, Max Schrock, Castellanos, Votto, Tyler Stevenson is batting 5th. Eugenio Suarez batting 6th. Kyle Farmer batting 7th. Tucker Barnhart batting, and then TJ Friedl is batting 9th. And I spelled Eugenio incorrectly. And then the White Sox lineup came out. It's Tim Anderson and Luis Robert. Kind of thought that could happen. Jose Abreu, Grandal, Eloy Jimenez, Yohan Moncada, Leury Garcia, Gavin Sheets, and Cesar Hernandez. Man, did his home run trajectory drop or what? All right. No big changes thoughts-wise, though, right? Rays at the Astros. Rays, Michael Wacha on the bump, have a 4.2 implied run total. They did drop a confirmed lineup. Brandon Lau, Yandy Diaz batting 2nd. Wander Franco batting 3rd. Nelson Cruz in the cleanup spot. Austin Meadows. This is looking like a nasty lineup for the postseason. Rays have nothing to play for at all. They have clinched it. I mean, they might have seeding, but they have clinched the AL East, so win or lose, they're locked into where they're at. They might catch the Astros in the postseason, so maybe this is kind of a practice game for that. But Michael Wacha being on the bump for the Rays here, he's definitely been probably their worst pitcher overall. On the road this season, a 2+ home run per 9. Against righties, a 2+ home run per 9. Against lefties, a 1.58 home run per 9. XFIP's kind of elevated to both sides of the plate. Might expect that his XFIP to righties is saying he's a little bit more unlucky than not. But a 300+ average allowed 3 years in a row, I'm going to go ahead and assume that he's just not that good at getting righties out, and a 40+% hard contact rate. So the Astros are in a positive matchup here, and the Astros, while maybe not having the sense of urgency that other teams have, they don't necessarily have nothing to play for. They're on a 4-game losing streak, and they got the Seattle Mariners 4.5 games back. So mathematically, they need another win or two to lock things in here. So a game against Michael Wacha could be the cure for their current skid here. Don't have an Astros lineup yet, but I definitely would not hate getting to some Astros stacks. Decent run total, 4.8. They might pop the lid open in Minute Maid. Don't quote me on that one, but it looks like Labs has weather information, so maybe they think that the roof is open. I don't mind picking on Wacha. I don't know how deep we might expect Wacha to go, but at the same time, Kevin Cash doesn't have to overmanage these games, and I don't know that Wacha's coming back, right? 3 innings out of Wacha in his last appearance, gave up just 1 earnie, 4 strikeouts. Previous outings, 5 innings, 6 earnies. So kind of a wide range of outcomes for him, but against a talented team like the Astros, definitely some room for implosion. So I don't mind getting through some Astro stacks. Hersey or Kitty on the bump for the Astros. 21% carry to righties, 22% to lefties. XFIP under 4 to both sides. That's somebody that profiles as somebody to go out there and attack it. Rays with a 4.3 implied run total. His biggest problem has been power to righties, 1.56 home run per 9 to righties. So Nelson Cruz might project well. He has a 4.2 rating on the bomb detector. That's probably good for top 10. And same with Mike Zunino, 4.36. Zunino has an incredible 25% barrel ball percentage on balls in play, right? So that's batted ball data. It doesn't mean 25% It means 25% of the time that he makes contact. It's a barrel, which is a specific launch angle and a hard contact rate, with the exit velocity over 90. Is it over 95 miles an hour, something like that? He's hitting rockets when he's not striking out. And Urquidy is not striking out righties at an insane clip, just 21%. So could be a spot for Zunino to get into one and keep his pretty good season going, right? That's it for me on that one. Astros lineup did just come out, so I guess while we're here, we'll get that punched in. We got Altuve, Bregman, Yuli Gurriel, Alvarez, Carlos Correa, Kyle Tucker, Aledmus Diaz, former Ray, I believe, batting 7th, Chaz McCormick batting 8th, and Martin Maldonado. So you don't really lose much. Maybe the bottom two. Chaz McCormick's still somebody with a little bit of pop. Martin Maldonado being like the easy hole in this lineup. Everything else is a low K rate lineup, high OPS, 800 plus OPS through and through here. So Astros in a really sizable spot to get to Michael Wacha, but you don't expect Wacha to go super deep. Is he categorized as a pure starter by DK? Has anybody heard about a potential long man for the Rays here? I'm pretty sure that Yarbrough just went the other day, so I don't know. They might be looking for him to eat 5-6 innings if he can get it. Let me look at their bullpen information using the RunDFS.com MLB VIP spreadsheet. Rockies, Rays, where we at? Right here. So it looks like their bullpen is wide open. It could be anybody. Yeah, it could be anybody. So I don't want to overguess. Looks like Yarbrough hasn't pitched since Friday, so 1, 2, 3. Maybe they would want 5 days in between. I don't know. You can give me some Astro stacks though. Rays, Dodgers in the World Series rematch, two of the best teams in the MLB. Nobody wants to see the Rays in the World Series, man. Nah, the Rays have been good, but from a public standpoint, I don't think anybody wants to watch the Rays. Maybe that's, I'm biased. If you're a Rays fan, I don't mean that in an offensive way. I just mean that as like the Rays are not even selling out crowds right now, and they've the best team in the AL East, potentially the AL. I don't know. They don't have a lot of drawing power, a lot of stars. And I think what baseball needs is some stars in the World Series. But from just a talent standpoint, like yeah, they could get there. Hopefully, I don't say hopefully. Just whatever happens. Indians at the Royals. Aaron Savali taking on Brady Singer. Neither lineup confirmed yet. 4.4 is your run total for the Indians. Royals a 4.7. Another game where neither team really playing for much. Brady Singer on the bump for the Royals. 20% K rate, 20% K rate to righties with a 291 average allowed. With a 24% K rate to lefties. The ground ball rate really high to both sides of the plate. Doesn't give up much power, but the power that he does give up is to lefties. But it's not at home. A 0.13 homer per night overall in Kauffman. Has he given up any homers to left to I don't know what it is, but he hasn't given up a ton of power at Kauffman here. So we'll pull up his splits just out of curiosity and see what it was. Home versus lefty, 1 homer. So he's given up 1 homer all year at home in 69 innings. Nice. So hard to attack him with any level of confidence, especially with the no-hit kid Indians. He doesn't give you a ton of strikeout potential in theory. 10.2% swing and strike rate. A 1.53 whip is a little bit more than I would like it. Going against the Indians, though, hey, man, good things happen to bad people, right? High strikeout rates in half of this Indians lineup. Franmil Reyes, Bobby Bradley, Bradley Zimmer, Roberto Perez, Andres Jimenez all have elevated K rates, kind of half and half. So if you want to pay $8,300 for Brady Singer, be my guest. I don't know if I jump on board on that. But in this park, like I could see it. He's averaging 18 DKP in 2 starts against Cleveland. So with his last start being 27 and he's averaging 18, so what would that be? 8 DKP and 27 DKP. So there was an 8. Is the 8 going to help you out here? Probably not. Probably not. So I don't know. It's up to you. But yeah, 27 DKP is definitely possible. So maybe if you're an MME or if you have a higher risk tolerance than I do, yeah, maybe Brady Singer makes your pull here. Definitely some strikeouts to be had in this lineup, and he's got a 20% called strike rate. Like that's got to be one of the highest in the league. So yeah, I don't know. In 150, I probably get to like up to 10% Singer or something like that. But in short entry, doesn't give me the warm and fuzzies. Aaron Savali on the bump for the Indians. Not a big K guy himself, particularly against righties. Just a 16.8% K rate. This lineup comes out pretty lefty heavy projected, with just Merrifield, Salvi, and Hunter Dozier batting from the right batter's box. So I guess we can isolate those lefty numbers. Against lefties, we got a 23.5% K rate and a 1.6 home run per nine. Again, nothing that's swaying me one way or the other, right? Like I'm not going to walk out of this with a sweet tooth for a Royal stack or an Indian stack. But Savali's last start didn't go great. Didn't get out the second inning. Yeah, he's all over the road too. So this is one of those games where I wouldn't push you off of either pitcher. I think you can talk me more onto Singer the more I'm thinking about it, but it's not going to be an aggressive stand. It would probably be capped at 10% and see what happens. Matchup wise, any bomb rating sticking out? We got a 4.28 for Salvador Perez. That's a Salvi thing. Hunter Dozier also has a 4+ home run per nine. In Kansas, it is 82 degrees, so warmer temperatures than a lot of places. So maybe we'll move on to that. Astros lineup just came out. Nice. Was kind of pumping to play Singer until I saw his DK price. Yeah, he's not cheap. If you guys missed my AJ Alexi rundown, though, he might be somebody that I end up getting a little too aggressive with, just because I do like his potential to progress to closer to his minor league numbers than what we've been dealing with, right? Singer's interesting on Fanduel at 7,700. Yeah, let's explore that then. Because Indians aren't good, right? And they're not good. At home, he's averaging 11. I think what's most interesting or compelling about Singer for FanDuel's sake is the 6 innings. Get you a shot at the quality start, maybe get you a shot at the win. And right now they are a slight favorite to win. If he picks up some strikeouts, go for it. He's gotten 5+ strikeouts. His strikeouts are not non-existent, right? Maybe we'll take a second to explore this a little bit more. So let's go to game logs. Let's see if his swing and strike rate is dipping up for any reason. No, it's really not. Last couple games, 9%, 9%, 11%, 6%. I think the fact that he's just getting strikes is huge. I don't know if he's just getting a lot of backwards Ks or what. But against this Indians lineup, there are some baked-in strikeouts. So what would you guys say is a fair pitch count for him? 97. We'll give him 100 pitches in the K Factory. I'll bring up PrizePicks in a second, too. We'll give him 100 pitches in the K Factory. If you guys are not sure what the K Factory is, it's the strikeout predictor that I created to predict strikeouts. All you got to do is come up with a number in your mind of how many pitches you think the pitcher might go. And we have a mathematical algorithm that would give you a soft projection on what we might expect strikeout-wise and out projection. So if I give him 100 pitches, I get 7 strikeouts. And we talked about how many strikeouts are in that lineup. But what is this PrizePicks total here? PrizePicks, MLB pitchers, Singer, where you at, buddy? If you guys aren't on PrizePicks, man, go sign up. Use my code GunDacker. Show me a little bit of love. He's got 5.5 as his K prop. I do think season-wise that's a little bit uncomfortable, but he's kind of been hitting it. It's a little bit of a sweat, but these props are all going to be priced to make you sweat. 7, 7, 6, 5, 6. So, I mean, he's gotten over 5.5 in all but one of his last, 6 games. I might be tempted on that one. Be looking at that. I'd be more so inclined to look at his fantasy projection. By the way, if you sign up using code GUNDACKER on PrizePicks.com, you do get up to 100% of your initial deposit doubled. So if you drop a 20 bomb and make that $40, you play some cards, man. It's really, really fun stuff. Brady Singer is 29.5 Fanduel. So their fantasy points for baseball mimics Fanduel. And 29.5 feels kind of soft. Brady Singer, FTP by game log. Let's go last 10 games. 46, 49. I feel like I would almost, I'm going to say lock, but I'd definitely be on the over 29. He only did 17 against the Twins. The Twins are kind of a good offense. The Cleveland, not so much. So instead of maybe going after the strikeout prop for Singer, I might go over 29.5 because I do think the Indians can feed that. So give me that as a prize pick here. Brady Singer over 29.5 fantasy points. And then out-wise on 100 pitches, I'm getting 20 outs. So that's about 6 innings. So the quality start is what we're hoping really to get to that 29. So I'm in on Singer over 29.5 PrizePicks points. They've been on Singer's case trying to get him to throw his changeup more. Okay, look at Ted Nugent with the fire. Let's go check out his pitch type last couple games then. Changeup 2%, 5%. He really isn't listening, but he did throw it over 10% against the Mariners. Is this changeup graded like really, really high this season? His changeup is, all of his pitches have a negative grade, especially his fastball. But for whatever reason, he's in a little bit of groove lately. Let's move on to the next game here. Nationals at the Rockies. Rockies lineup is out. Garrett Hampson is leading off. Brandon Rogers batting second. I retyped it from the Department of Redundancy Department. Trevor Story batting third. Looks like Charlie Blackmon getting a night off. So CJ Cron batting fourth behind Trevor Story. That's a really good spot. Number 5, who wants to walk with Elias? Batting fifth. McMahon batting sixth. Jonathan Daza batting seventh. I'll have a Samuel Hilliard. I'll have one too. He's batting eighth. Look at the Rockies lineup, man. This is a really cheap Coors Field lineup against the Patrick Corbin pitching stylings. Especially when you look at Corbin's righty metrics, sub 17% K rate, 300 plus average allowed, 2.5 home run per 9. I mean, they're throwing 1 through 5 at him, and they can all do a little bit of damage, but especially 3 and 4. And you could throw in Brandon Rogers. So far, so good on him. I guess Corbin's ground ball rate still a little bit higher than you would want it, but his hard contact rate being so high and this being Coors Field, bad things happen to good people. You heard? I don't know. This Corbin got crazy Coors, Patrick Corbin, DKP by game log at Rockies last 10 games. He used to be in that division, so there's probably a good bit of sample size. 21, 16, 12. What's the earnings? 2, 3, 2. He actually hasn't had a more than 3 earned runs since 2017, but this has been a different Patrick Corbin, right? Maybe as of late he's showing some signs of life, but we have every reason to be interested in these Rockies bats at these prices at home against just about anybody, right? Even Max Scherzer can get got in Coors Field. Against Colorado in Washington, he gave up 10 hits, 2 home runs, 6 earnings. So, yeah, you can definitely sell me on these Rockies bats here. Looks like they're going to project to be really, really high-owned. I'm just assuming that just because of their price points. CJ Cron is looking like a potential lock here in short field formats. Just out of curiosity, I feel like every baseball DFS analyst ever would be like, I never look at BVP, but let's look at BVP. Is there anything on Corbin here? It has to be some coming from that division. There we go. CJ Cron is batting 500, 1 extra base hit, and then Trevor Story has some decent numbers, a little bit of power. So, yeah, you can give me Rockies. Rockies are sitting on a 6.4 implied run total. Kyle Freeland on the bump for the Rockies. Maybe we don't forget about the Nationals getting this park boost themselves. Juan Soto doesn't need a plus park to hit baseballs very well, and here we are, 5,900 for him in Coors Field. I don't mind getting to him. Lefty on lefty, people presume the platoon is not in his advantage, but he hits both sides of the plate at an elite level, a 914 OPS against lefties. Kyle Freeland gives up a decent chunk of power to both sides of the plate. Against lefties, a 124 home run per nine. At home, a 211 home run per nine, 302 average allowed. So obviously, this whole game is in play. The Nationals have a 5.7 implied run total, and they feel a little less fun to stack, and I feel like that's the case slate to slate. But Lane Thomas, yeah, you can give me some of that. Juan Soto, Josh Bell, Ryan Zimmerman against the lefty. That dog will hunt. Yeah, I don't mind the game stack here, but it's Coors Field, right? You didn't tune in for me to tell you to stack Coors. So do what you will. I don't play either pitcher. And that's all I got to say about that. I walk with Elias. Who wants to walk with Elias? I like Lane Thomas somewhat. Yeah, Lane Thomas is a beast. Look at these lefty splits for Lane Thomas so far. He's batting almost 400, 254 ISO, and a 1.1 OPS. That's nutty. That's nutty. You're going against the grain today with this BVP nonsense. I'm just referencing it, fam. We'll do the analysis first. There's a couple of these guys I'm curious. Like, Patrick Corbin is coming from this division, and I was just looking. I do like to, I don't know, for some of these anomalaic fields like Coors, right? These high, in how Chase Field used to be. I want to see how maybe pitchers just fare. Like, there's some surprising pitchers that have decent histories in Coors or have had. Like, there was a stint where like Cueto and Jeff Samardzija, guys like that, had like dumb, decent splits in Coors, and sometimes it comes down to pitch mix, who's not using breaking balls, who knows how to use breaking balls in that elevated thinner air. I don't know. Lane Thomas finally got his price bump on Fanduel, no longer the free square. Yeah, I'm still getting there, right? There's still so much value because of where we're at in the season. There's usually value on a big slate anyway. Let's move on to the Giants hosting the Diamondbacks. I got Luke Weaver pitching for the D-backs. We got Logan Webb pitching for the Giants. So we circle back to the narrative games, right? What games mean something? Every game for the Giants, every game for the Dodgers mean a lot. The Dodgers 2 games back from the Giants now. Giants could really separate themselves if they get another Dodgers loss and the Giants get some wins. And you got to win the games you're supposed to win. And the Giants are supposed to beat the Diamondbacks. And Logan Webb has been just an incredible surprise for them. This is a weird spot because his better split has definitely been the righty split. And the D-backs said, YOLO, fam, we're giving you every lefty we got. Only Luke Weaver bats from the right side of the home. The right batter box is going to be like so clean. But Josh Rojas, Marte, Varsho, Calhoun, Peralta, Pavin Smith, Josh Van Meter, and Jake McCarthy, all lefties trying to attack Logan Webb's weaker side, which is not even that weak to begin with, a 3.14 xFIP to lefties overall, where the strikeout rate dips 6%, right? He strikes out righties almost a 30% clip with a 2.4 xFIP, but against lefties, that's 23%. At home, he has a 2.4 xFIP, a 31% K rate, and a 0.59 home run per nine. So maybe we try to, manipulate the numbers to feel better about playing Logan Webb. But if we're looking at Chris Sale and we're looking at pitchers that are Zach Wheeler, Charlie Morton, if we're looking at pitchers specifically because they're pitching important games, we can't forget that Logan Webb is pitching a pretty important game against a beatable team. So at home against lefties, 26 innings pitched, 26.2 innings pitched, 28 strikeouts. So he's been over a strikeout per inning, which is good. And then 2 homers in those 26 innings. That's par for the course. And against righties, 44 strikeouts. So the lefty splits is really what I'm trying to isolate here. Where are you guys at on Logan Webb? 8,900. Maybe the landing becomes Potentially a little bit softer if he did have a flatter game, if he got 16. But 20 plus is a real range of outcome. 26, 20, 31, 27. But I think a lot of these games are coming against not all lefties. So I'm kind of on the fence here about how much Logan Webb to get to. Because I'm going to get to some Logan Webb. But how much? At home this season, averaging 20, almost 6 more fantasy points than he is on the road. D-backs strikeout rates aren't crazy. There are some 1-in-5s, some close to 1-in-4s. Rojas, Varsho, Calhoun, 23% plus. Van Meter, almost 1-in-4. Jake McCarthy striking out 36% of the time. Then you get that pitcher spot. And then against lefties, he has a 61% ground ball rate. Does Logan Webb eat 6 innings here? Does he get us a strikeout per? Does he get 20 plus? If you think the answers are yes, then I think we get to some Logan Webb. Temperatures in Oracle looking like 60 degrees, so it'll be one of the coolest games on the slate, which will be another bump for the pitcher here. And they got every reason in the world to go out there and play good defense behind him and play good offense as well. And then who was it that got hurt? Is it Brandon Belt? I think it is. Brandon Belt. Sick injury, man. Fractured his left thumb. And he's definitely been a huge part of that team and that core. And last couple of games he's been getting you multiple hits. So that's a big loss for them. Kind of keep that in mind going forward into the playoffs. But yeah, I'm in on Logan Webb. Kind of curious to see what you guys are thinking though. You don't do BVP. That's for us to tell you. You always say I don't do BVP. Bro, I was doing a show at EMAC on Saturday, and he went straight to BVP. I was like, holy cow. I didn't think we were allowed to do that. Another former Cardinal from lefty count. Yeah, I think Webb has a much longer leash as well compared to Sale. Much better park. Yeah, it definitely seems like Webb's at 60%. Earth to air, is that 60% in your lineups, or is that the field projection? If that's the field projection, that's a hefty projection for how big this slate is. But, I understand it. Yeah, I understand it. Guys, we do a pause for the cause. We got a couple games left to talk about. But I do want to plug RunDFS.com. If you guys want access to the spreadsheets that I've created for baseball and football, and in a couple weeks, basketball, go check out RunDFS.com. Get signed up. Find a membership right for you. We have got just an incredible community of grinders at all different bankroll levels, playing all different sites, playing sports betting, DFS, all that good stuff. We've got ABPs, 1 million maker. In the last week alone, we've seen Shady hit for almost 30K in one day between soccer and MMA. We've seen a bunch of showdown success. A couple of guys been on the Nut Showdown lineups for a couple different shows, including myself in the last week. Really good results on Sunday for NFL Week 3. If you guys want to come be part of this community, we also offer just about daily voice chats before each main slate lock. So if you guys are looking to hang out with a crew of like-minded grinders that have their ear to the ground on news, and then just talking general strategy and look at leverage play, stuff like that, come check that out. Go to RunDFS.com, get yourself signed up. Maybe try out a week. I get it. It could be a little bit pricey, but hey, we're doing daily chats. We're doing hands-on research aids, and maybe it's a little late in the baseball season, but man, I don't know that there's many research aids better than this spreadsheet, man. This thing is a beast. It is my pride and joy, and it's kind of created a name for me, so it is something that you could have at your fingertips every day. And then we also have projections in football, projections in basketball, and some easy to access, easy to read, digest information based on stats and all that good stuff. So go check that out. Good way to support the stream, support the site. Is that it? That's all the plugs. We did PrizePicks. All right, cool. No lie, is that Shrek? Is that a me joke? Or are you saying I look like Shrek? If so, good one, buddy. Oof, old Jason. Athletics at the Mariners. Next game on the docket. Chris Bassett taking on Tyler. The Andersons got tickets to the game? How'd they get tickets? Man, Tyler Anderson was somebody that did me dirty a couple games back. He's the projected opener here. He pitched on the 25th, so going on 3 days rest here. But he gave up 9 earned runs against the Angels. How does that even happen? I'm not sure I would give up 9 earned runs to the Angels. Minus 19.5 fantasy points, man. Imagine outscoring Tyler Anderson by almost 20 DKP. You don't have to imagine it because you did it. You outscored him by almost 20 DKP a couple days back. He's projected opener now, which is a scary situation because the Mariners, like we said, not mathematically out of it, but they need a lot of stuff to go their way. They need to win everything, and they need the Red Sox and the Blue Jays to lose to get into that wild card spot. So look out for what the Mariners are going to try and piece together here. I would imagine this becomes a full-fledged chess match with bullpen pieces. And then for the Athletics, Chris Bassett on the bump, 3.65 xFIP to righties, 4 xFIP to lefties, a 1-4 K rate to both sides of the plate. He's been rock solid. 8,500. I'm looking for maybe 18 DKP as a reasonable range of outcome. Hopefully, if you play him, that's what you get. Last couple outings for him, though, 48-23 pitches. So maybe I misspoke, and maybe his pitch count is not where we want it to be. Looks like he's getting stretched back out, making his next start no more rest. Get a chance to make 2 starts, blah, blah, blah. All right, so I think it might be reasonable to assume that he's not going to go deep pitch-wise. So if you give him another 15 pitches on 50, 65, 70, that's probably not worth gambling on. So I guess I don't get to Chris Bassett here. I was hoping he was stretched out, but I didn't realize he's been hurt. I guess I should have. He got that ridiculous comebacker off his. How's he even alive, much less pitching right now? I forgot all about that. No pitchers here for me. Offensively, Athletics have a 4.1 implied run total. Mariners 4. It's 55 degrees up there in Seattle. 5,700 for Starling Marte. 5,600 for Matt Olson. Like, these guys are very talented in and of themselves. But I think you start putting some context to this game, the temperature, the bullpen volatility. Those are expensive prices. I mean, you're almost doubling down what you have to pay for like a CJ Cron, right? CJ Cron coming in at 3,600. I mean, that's what, 70%. Jesus, that's a big discount versus what you got to get from Marte. Marte, you play him, you're expecting some stolen bases. Olsen, you play him, you need a homer at that price. So I'm not getting to the Athletics with a high level of confidence. And then based on where Matt Chapman hits here, I wonder how deep Anderson goes here. Is this like a bullpen game? Does he go 30, 40 pitches? I don't know. I don't hate the idea of getting to the Athletic stack just matchup wise. But the value of their stack price-wise versus the Red Sox, right, versus the Yankees, versus the Coors, like the pricing is kind of jacked up here. Even the Red Sox have the second highest run total on the slate, right? They don't have anyone straight up over 5K. So it's hard to justify the Athletics. Maybe that gives them a little bit more lucrativity in tournaments because, maybe their ownership is low, and we've seen if Tyler Anderson get blown up by the Indians, he can get blown up by anybody, especially a team like the Athletics. So it's a hard click, but I would understand it. On the Mariners side, last night they put up a lot of runs. Mitch Haniger smoking hot, 2 homers. Chris Bassett, he might get 1.5 turns through the lineup. So he's not somebody I consider like a gas can or anything like that. You just be stacking them on a whim and hoping that they go out there and get these dubs, right? Yankees getting swept. I don't know about that. SPs in this game are a bit odd. Bassett probably, yeah. So I'll probably stay away from the pitching here, even though it feels like the Mariners, should have incentive to win, right? We got one game left on the docket. Dodgers hosting the Padres. Yu Darvish taking on Walker Buehler. So Dodgers, much like the Giants, they need to win. Dodgers need to win a little bit more today, and it's easy to say that their matchup at least feels a little bit tougher. Padres, of course, disappointing, but the Padre-Dodger games this year have just been so good. Yu Darvish on the bump for the Padres taking on Walker Buehler. Darvish is coming off. He had that ridiculous game in in St. Louis where Phil Cuzzy was giving him the dumbest calls. But he curtain called that with a solid home game. But that's been more reasonable. He's been good at Petco, not so much on the road. He's got 4 games against the Dodgers, averaging 27. Like, look at you. Look at you. Anyway, last Dodgers game for him was on the 26th, 13.9 DKP. I definitely think I'm leaning more towards the Dodgers here. I think Yu Darvish still carries this level of respect to him where people might, I don't want to say over-respect him, but they might under-respect the power of the Dodgers offense and not get to the Dodgers stack as much as they should with what they're playing for. Temps are going to be more pitcher-friendly, 66 degrees. But offensively, they're going to be out here playing some aggressive baseball. And then Walker Buehler's 9,100. He's another pitcher on this slate that has a leash long enough and is playing important baseball, like Chris Sale, Zach Wheeler, Charlie Morton, Logan Webb, guys like that. And outside of that core start, which we can forgive cores, you've been looking at 6 innings for the most part in most of his games. At San Francisco, number 1 team in baseball, didn't go well. But in 4 starts against San Diego, is averaging over 20 fantasy points. So if you think 20 plus might get you some traction at that price point, he still has 30 plus fantasy point potential as well. And he does strike out. Does have serviceable strikeout numbers. This Padres projected lineup doesn't have a ton of implied Ks in it. A lot of sub 18% K rate guys. Machado at 18%. Cronenworth, Adam Frazier in the low teens as well. Profar low teens. So if you're really just trying to extrapolate, strikeout ceiling, yeah, maybe there's better matchups for the other high-priced pitchers, but Buehler should go deep enough to where he makes the player pool for me against the Padres team that might be over-presumed in terms of how good or bad the matchup is for the opposing pitcher. Yu Darvish, guys, are you like? The Dodgers are the most expensive stack on the slate, right? So, it wouldn't be fair for me to say what I said about the Athletics and then be like, oh, let's go stack the Dodgers easily. Obviously, they got a lot of responsibility at this price point. 3 guys in this stack is 5,500 or more. Max Muncy, Trey Turner, Mookie Betts. Corey Seager's at 52. Will Smith's at 51. Justin Turner's at 52. So I can't imagine they're going to garner a lot of ownership. I'd probably throw them in the back end of my pool in MME, probably 5-6% it. That'll be the lines that get to AJ Alexi and some of those middling guys, and maybe I double down with crazy value guys, the CJ Cron's, guys like that. But I understand how there's not really value in the Dodgers stack. If you play the Dodgers, they need to go all the way off, not just do well. They need to go all the way off at these prices because this is ridiculous. So being this price against at least a competent pitcher in Yu Darvish, I understand the pushback, but I'm not going to have none. I do think they're playing important, inspired baseball. Minus 179 favorites here too on a 4.4 implied run total. So the Padres are sitting on a 3.2 implied run total. If you're into overs, that's a pretty low total for a team that has Machado and Fernando Tatis, right? A bloop and a blast and another bloop and a blast, and you're cooking with peanut oil. That is our slate. So I'm going to go back here. We're going to update some lineups and maybe revisit some thoughts. If you guys had any lasting questions, comments, concerns, I definitely invite you to drop them in chat. I would ask from you, if you don't mind, hit that thumbs up, man. Show me a little bit of love. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, double check. If you've been able to talk in chat, you're subscribed. But if you're not able to talk in chat and you're like, why can't I talk in chat? It's because we have follow subscriber only mode on. It's free to subscribe, right? It's free to subscribe. So why not do it? Anyway, let's get some lineups in. If you guys got any comments or anything like that, drop them in chat. I'll refresh my lineups page. Man, I'm a little bit salty about that Tiger Woods drop, man. Of course that drop happened right as I went live. Lost out on that NFT. What can you do? Orioles lineup not out yet. Yankees lineup did come out. So did the Blue Jays. So Yankees are dealing with DJ LeMahieu, Anthony Rizzo, Aaron Judge, and Carlos Stanton, Joey Gallo, Gleyber Torres, Gary Sanchez, Brett Gardner, Gio Urshela. So as projected. So I'm kind of surprised a little bit to not see Luke Voit find his way in the lineup against in a platoon spot. That's interesting. Blue Jays lineup: George Springer, Marcus Semien, Vladdy Jr., Bo Bichette, Teoscar Hernandez, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Corey Dickerson, Santiago Espinal, and then Danny Jansen. That's your confirmed Blue Jays lineup. Not much has changed conceptually about this game. Both offenses are in play, not getting to either pitcher. Just don't trust that either pitcher really gets to 5 innings, much less more than that. So not even catching the hook for being win eligible. We already had the Phillies and Braves lineups. The Twins lineup is not out yet. We do have a Brewers lineup. Colton Wong, Willie Adames, Yelich, Avi Garcia, Omar Narvaez, I'm Tyrone. Tyrone Taylor batting 6. Daniel Vogelback from the Department of Redundancy Department. We'll retype that. And then Jace on base, Jace Peterson, former Yankee great, batting 8th in lieu of Lorenzo Cain. Low Cain might just be playing home games from here on out, right? I don't know. With them being locked in. Brandon Marsh, Shohei Ohtani, Jared Walsh batting 3rd for the Angels. Phil Gosselin, Jack Mayfield, Jose Rojas, Max Stassi, Luis Rengifo, and David Fletcher. So not much has changed in terms of my opinion on AJ Alexy. If you guys missed that section of this stream, AJ Alexy has better strikeout stuff in his DNA, meaning his minor league numbers put him as a strikeout pitcher. We haven't seen that play in the big leagues yet, but it's only been 4 game sample size. 2 of those games are against the Yankees and the Astros, and one of those games is against this Angels team, which he thrived. And the Angels have one of the highest cumulative strikeout rates. I think the highest strikeout rate, especially this lineup in baseball. And in that game, he showed up and showed out. 85 pitches, got to 29 DKP with over a strikeout per inning. So I don't mind running that back at a 6.3K price point and putting him in the mix for me. And looking at this this version of the Angels lineup, there is not one person in the top 7 with a sub 25% K rate. What is does AJ Alexy have a strikeout prop on PrizePicks? Because if he does, they probably have it discounted. He's got 4.5. Guys, I'm slamming that. Come on, 4.5. I'm on that. So if you're on PrizePicks, you can give me the Brady Singer over fantasy points, and then the AJ Alexy over strikeout as 2 picks that I'm digging. That just seems so soft. So I'm in on that. If I give AJ Alexy 80 pitches in the K Factory, it's gonna come out stupid probably. It gives me 5, but I think that's due to his lack of numbers so far in the big leagues. I kind of want to lean on his minor league metrics a little bit more in this spot. Other lineups that came out, anything doesn't look like it. We got Royals and Indians both came out. Indians lineup: Miles Straw, Ahmed Rosario, Jose Ramirez, Franmil Reyes, Harold. We got Harold Ramirez batting 5th, Bradley Zimmer batting 6th, Yu Chang, Roberto Perez, Andres Jimenez confirmed. And then on the Royals side, we got Whit Merrifield, Nicky Lopez, Salvador Perez, Andrew Benintendi, Santana, Alberto Mondesi, Hunter Dozier, Michael A. Taylor, and Kyle Isbell. Anyway, all right, that's about it. We got to wrap it up, get you guys out of here so you guys can go check out, I guess, the Osmo stream. They're about to get cranked up, man. I appreciate you guys stopping by. As always, we'll be back at it tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. I'm going to go get in that RunDFS.com VIP voice chat. If you guys want in on that, go to RunDFS.com. Get yourself a VIP membership. Otherwise, Twitter.com/Gundacker. If I don't tweet out the bomb detector, poke me, remind me, I'll get it out there. And then I'll get to work on some NFL research. So it's been a fun one, man. I hope you guys absolutely crushed it tonight. Let me see them screenshots on Twitter. No other way to send me screenshots, I guess. I don't know. Hit that thumbs up on your way out, man. I love you guys. Crush it. Appreciate you making part of my day as part of your day. Good luck. God bless. And go win some money.